Alright, so today we're going to have a change of pace from the usual BMW DIYs, and we're going to work on this Honda Ridgeline. We'll be doing brake pads. It's a very simple process. This is the other side, so I'll just show you this one. First thing you do, take off your wheel, and then you go to the back right here. You have two 12mm bolts that you need to break loose. There's a 17mm set like a holder bolt right there on this side, which you can hold so you can crack these open. One thing I've realized is Hondas do like to rust, so I hit everything with a nice little bit of PV black and let it soak for a couple minutes before getting all this stuff out. And that's how you get these bolts to come off easy as that. And like that, your caliper comes off. So you want to set this aside. Don't let the brake line hang, so you just set it on top of the little suspension arm. The next step is to pry off these pads. You don't want to pry against the rotor, so you want to hit the lip of the brake pad with the screwdriver. And that's a quick, easy way to get these pads out. Next step is to take off these spring retainer clips for your pads. You also got to pry these out. The next step I like to do is to compress the caliper back in to the piston back into the caliper. So that is your next setup. I'm using a 6-inch C-clamp with a brake pad on so I don't damage the piston, and it's just compressing it all the way in. I like to clean up this caliper bracket area with some brake clean and a wire brush before I re-grease it and put everything back together. To make sure this stuff never rusts again, I use some brake and caliper grease just to keep everything nice and lubed up. Next up, you put in your new spring clips for your pads. The kit I got included these. You may need to reuse yours if you have a different kit. The next step is to just place your brake pads in. I'm going to lube up the ears of these pads so they don't squeak. And then I'm going to lube up where the caliper sits on the pad. Now that's all done, you place the caliper back on. I'm going to brush off the rust on these bolts real quick. And I'm going to throw a little line of grease so these also don't rust on. thread it on loosely and get the other bolt on. And lastly, you just tighten this back up. And there you have it, your Honda Ridgeline brake pads.